everybody, and welcome to my channel. And yes, I still have some Halloween decorations up, even though it is November. That's actually what I have to do today, is get de-Halloween my house, because we were gone this past weekend to my in-laws' house. So everything is still Halloween in my house, even though it is November 4th, I think. Yeah, so we really need to get rid of all the Halloween stuff. But first, we're gonna play our TBR game, and I do have some stuff that I want to read. I actually, last night while I was watching the football game, I went through and I revamped my TBR that's over here. I still have to put all of my Halloween books away too. I have so many horror books just laying around. Again, remember that time, for whoever watched it, remember that time when I said I was going to read all of my horror books and I read like 14 of them, but then kept finding more? And so it's like I didn't read any. So I got a lot still left, so that's not a concern if we land on the horror spot. Because I was like, oh my gosh, what if I don't have any horror to read in my TBR game? Me looking like a chump over here. I so very much overestimated my reading capability and underestimated how many horror books that I had just laying around the house. Let's get into the TBR game. Well, first, let's go through what I have on that TBR cart. Okay, this is my TBR cart. I was way too close to the camera. Okay, so there's just a lot of stuff that I want to get to, and I'm also trying to do the thing where if I buy a book, I'm going to put it on here because I don't want my books just sitting around for months at a time. So we have Rise of the Cinder Fae, which is very autumn, so I would like to read that in autumn. The Games Gods Play is a newer book. I want to continue in the Magnolia Parks Daisy Hates series, so I'm on this one, but I'm putting this one on here too because this would be afterwards. So I really want to get to these two. I really need to get to this. This is on my 24 books to read in 2024, I think. So I need to do that one. This is one of the books of the year. This is definitely going to be in the fantasy category probably. I think this came out this year, but I definitely need to read this. This is, again, one of those that everybody's talking about this year. So I want to read it in the year that everyone's really excited about it. I recently got Lightning Bottles. Again, we just got The Immortal Dark. We just got A Dark and Drowning Tide last month. A Novel Love Story I just got, and I also just really want to read it. It sounds amazing. This is just a book that I need to get to. I've had it on my shelves for like 1,000 years. Again, A Curious Beginning. It just cozy vibes, so I kind of want to read it. It ends with us. I still haven't spoiled myself for the book, but it's going to happen the longer I do not read it. So I just need to read it for spoilers. Art Thief, I recently got like a month or two ago, and it's one of those nonfiction out of my comfort zone books, so I really need to read it. Cup of Silver Linings is one that it's a series my mom and I are reading together, so I really need to get to that one because I'm behind her by like 2 books. Godslayers, this is more of a December read, so I can actually probably take this one out and leave space for something else. Because that is, December is going to be like entirely reading sequels if I can. Love and Other Conspiracies I just got. And then these are all the books that we just unboxed in the October unboxing. The Wickedest Town I just bought. This is by that indie author that I like. Spells for Forgetting is kind of the vibes right now, so I would like to read that one. And then we just got A Dark and Secret Magic. The nope, not saying it. This one sounds cute. I just got it. Again, just got. This is part of, I'm working on some Owl Crate stuff. So these are all the Owl Crate things I'm working on. And then I just got my Vampire Plus one. I don't have them on there because there's just like too many of them. But I'm also trying to make my way through the Wayward Children series. I just read Beneath the Sugar Sky last night. So hopefully something matches that, because I did read that in November. So that'd be really cool if something matches that. And then I just started In an Absent Dream. And then the other book that I'm reading is The Forgotten Witch. I'm about 100 pages into that one, and I'm actually really enjoying it. It's very cozy fantasy. So it could go well, it could not. I'm listening to that one on audiobook. Oh, and then I also have Among the Beasts and Briars as part of the Owl Crate thing. So I have quite a few books that I am trying to read. So I'm hoping that everything we have here, notice there's nothing horror. I don't want to read horror, like, at all. I do not want to read horror. So I'm hoping that everything kind of fits on this TBR. I want it to be like a really cool month where I actually just read off my TBR where I can just like, it'll be so cool just to like empty the shelves. I think that sounds so fun. I've never done that before. I don't know what the purpose of my TBR cards are. I have 3. One of them is like my TBR. Another one is like I put all my new books on and then don't look at again until I panic and do the stuff like this. And then the third one is just like holding random stuff in my closet right now. I really need to add that second one out here to hold some book stuff. So I'm a mess. Okay. If you don't know what the TBR game is, it's complicated. It's actually hilariously complicated. And it's really not, but it sounds complicated. Okay, so if you don't know what the TBR game is, it is like the most complicated and also the most simple thing ever. But it sounds, I don't know what I was thinking when I came up with this game. It's become like an ongoing, like a running joke that I don't know what came over me while I was making this game because the prompts are absurd. Half of them I don't even have books for. Like I do not know what happened while I was making this game. But anyway, basically we're just trying to get through different areas of this world. So every different area is a different genre. They're numbered 1 through 5. If I roll a 6, it's kind of, I pick my own. Right? That seems easy, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's science fiction, mystery, thriller, romance, fantasy, horror, and then like I said, if I roll 6, I just pick one, and then you roll again for the number of spaces you move. Where it gets complicated, so in each space corresponds to a different prompt. So the idea is to make it through this world. I get a book for whatever world that I finish. I have yet to finish these prompts. I've been giving myself time because I am not a TBR reader. I am such a mood reader that it's really difficult for me to play a TBR game because I'm just like, oh, okay, I need to read this for this. And then it's like, no, I'll pass. I'll pass. So it's such a pain to TBR read, but I'm trying to train my brain to do it a little bit. It's kind of gotten there, but not really. I feel like the amount of DNFs that I've had have proven that this year, that my brain is still a mood reading brain. So anyway, there's 3 sections in each world, and there to make it shorter, because you would just blow through it if you like say that I roll sci-fi 3 times and then I roll 6s, you're through the whole world in 1 round if you read those 3 books. So I had to slow the game down. So there's 3 sections in each world, and the prompts are supposed to correspond with the section. Sometimes they don't. But once you get through one section, there's like a mandatory stop. So even if I roll this area 3 times, I'm most likely going to get stuck. So then I'm just stuck at that prompt until I complete it. I don't go forwards, I don't go backwards, I have to complete that prompt. And normally they're like more specific. So that's one of the complicated things. I had to slow the game down somehow. I don't complete one of the prompts, basically it just gets wiped away when we redo this, and then I go backwards for the next roll. So that kind of like is like a punishment, but it's not really a punishment because I could land on a spot that doesn't have a TBR prompt and I won't have a book that month. It's kind of to try to help me just to get through my books, but also like a punishment if I don't do them. But it's not really a punishment. It's not like making me read something terrible, which this doesn't need any help for that. So anyway, I'm looking at this and we've had the worst luck rolling in the fantasy area. I think we're still in the first section for fantasy. I think horror, we're in the 3rd. Horror, we're close to finishing, but I don't want to roll any horror. Mystery, I think we're in the 2nd area. Romance, we do not roll that much, but I keep rolling 6s in the romance area, so I think we're in section 2. And then, or I did it backwards, that's horror. Horror, I think we're in section 3. We're stuck in section 2 for sci-fi. Section 2, and I think still section 1. I might have broken in the 2nd section, but I think we're still in 1. So let's go over what we did last time. It's been a while since I did this, so I've had plenty of time to complete these. So I did complete all of these. Last time we only had 4 prompts because we got stuck at one of the spots. We had mystery, a non-cop person gets involved in the case. I read Under the Surface. That is definitely matches that. Like Under the Surface could be either thriller or horror, but I think it's more thriller. Basically, the kids are the ones who kind of, the boyfriend or not boyfriend, who is above the city, is trying to find his friend, the girl that he likes, below the city in Paris in the catacombs, and he is doing more than the police are doing. So he's very involved in the case at that. So that one was very perfect. We rolled a horror for Nature's the Evil Force, and that's definitely the Lamplighters. The Lamplighters had spooky forest, the woods, something weird with the nature in the town was going on. So that one definitely fits perfectly, I think. Forest on the cover for a fantasy role was Thorn Hedge. I love the cover of Thorn Hedge. You have to look at it really closely, but there's so many details. You have a castle, a forest, everything. And it takes place like in the middle of like a forest area. That was perfect. And then Final Fantasy was, I had a mandatory stop. So I am at the end of the first section in fantasy. Cottage comes into view and need help. A witch casts a spell. Book with witches, and I chose the spell shop. I thought that was perfect. So even though they're not like traditional witches, I thought the cottage in the middle of the forest kind of thing was perfect for that. So I kind of fudged that one a little bit and ended up counting that one. So anyway, let's get to our rolls. So the first set of rolls are, I'm gonna do them all on my computer because it's just so much easier than filming this stupid thing, like an actual physical roll. But who knows, I might get back to that. I'm going to show you the rolls. The first set of 5s are going to tell us what genre, so I'll pop the genre up as they go. And then the second set of 5 correspond to how many spots we can move and what prompt that we get. So I am working on digitizing this for 2025 so that I can actually show you the movements on here and just have a screen pop up. That is like a chess piece or something moving to different spots. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. I think I can do something like that in Canva or something like that. So we're going to try and figure that out because I want to make this is a pain, and it's like I keep losing the board. So I want to have it all on here. So we're working on that. But for right now, you're not going to see the spaces move just because it's a pain in the butt. Here are the rolls. Okay, so we rolled romance, fantasy, a pick your own, mystery thriller, and then another pick your own. I want to read the most, it's November. I feel like I want to read fantasy. Let's read, one of the pick your owns will be a fantasy. We'll do the third roll. We'll do the first 6 as fantasy, and then we'll do the second 6 as romance, because I have a couple of romance that I actually want to read on here. And a lot of fantasy can also be considered romance, so I can mess with that a little bit. I can do that. Like if it's a fantasy romance book, I feel like that counts. We did not have any sci-fi. We did have a mystery thriller, which is the 4th one, so 3. We moved 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're at the mandatory stop for mystery thriller, and that is going to be get pulled into the investigation at a crime scene and is interrogated. Police, procedural, or unreliable narrator. Oh, no. Okay, that's sad because The Gathering actually would have worked super well for that because that was a detective story. Let's see. Nothing on the top row. Oh, does the second row have The Art Thief? I could actually potentially do The Art Thief. It's nonfiction, but it's still like a crime book. So I might pull that one. Ooh, and then I have the last one at the wedding. Okay, let me pull both of those. So we have The Art Thief, which I think this counts. Again, it is a nonfiction, but sometimes I can sneak a little nonfiction in here. It is like a mystery. Well, not really a mystery, but I think this counts. This is definitely, I mean, it's art thievery. So I think this counts. Not really in the mystery thriller category, but I think that counts. I read the synopsis of this one. I don't think this one works. It's hard to tell if you have an unreliable narrator in a book, but I don't think this one counts. So I think because I found one in my TBR, I'm going to go with this one. Some of you are going to be upset with me, but I think this counts. I'm kind of looking at some of the horror books I have under here because I did pull some thrillers, but I don't think any of these are really police procedurals. So we're going to stick with this one. I think this works, and I've been needing to read this one, and I don't have any nonfiction space, so I'm bending the rules for myself. And we're going to try and read The Art Thief. That's everything in mystery thriller. Next, we have romance, and I did have 2. So the first one, we rolled romance first. It was 1, but we did not complete our prompt. So we have to go back here, but there's no prompt there. So that marks us off for 1 fantasy book. And then we had a second romance, which is a 6. We rolled a 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And our prompt is relating to water somehow. This is what I'm talking about when I made these prompts. I don't do drugs, but I would swear that I was on them while I made these prompts. Oh my gosh, what was I thinking? Rise of the Cinder Fae, the games gods plays. Potentially the games gods play if it's talking about Poseidon a lot. That could count. Nothing Daisy hates. Oh, but that's fantasy. So I'm looking for a romance. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? Oh no, what was I thinking? I don't see anything on here that has to do with water. A novel love story. I guess the games gods play is a romantasy. So we're gonna look at that one. A novel love story, no. Love and Other Consequences is Bigfoot. If it had been the Loch Ness Monster, that would have been really good. But that is not the case. And then my Vampire Plus one. So none of those really. I feel like it's cheating if I do the games gods play, but I don't have that many romance books. This is what I'm talking about. I don't have stuff to fulfill the prompts because I am insane when I made this stuff. So let me go look in the other rooms and see if I have a romance with water. And the worst part is most of my books are packed upstairs. So I have a feeling we're gonna have to mess with this prompt a little bit. Okay, this is a stretch. This is a stretch, but we're counting it because it is romance. It's not fantasy. This is romance, and I am proud of myself for finding this loophole a little bit because it just says something with water, just something with water. Funny story. The prologue. They move back to his lakeside hometown. The ex-boyfriend, not even the current boyfriend. Lakeside hometown. I'm counting it. We already have 2 very much suspicious choices. Okay, so that's everything in romance. Moving over to fantasy, which we don't have any horror either. So fantasy, I have 2 fantasies. Okay, so the first fantasy is 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And our prompt is dark magic. Again, this is what I'm talking about. Like, dark magic. What does that even mean? Like, the Darkling specifically with shadow magic? Like, what? What does that even mean? Okay. I feel like we have a couple. Immortal Dark, I feel like, is dark. And there's magic in it. I'm so mad at, like, my past self. Like, I'm so mad at her. Every time I play this dang game, I am so mad at her for doing this to me. Immortal Dark. This is vampires. I don't think I would count this. I don't think that's really what I meant as dark magic. This is a nightmare. Living in a nightmare. The Half King. That feels like it's going to be dark magic. A young man who rules by day and turns to shadow at sunset. Is this what I mean by dark magic? It's a curse. Okay. I'll take that. Destined to vanish completely upon his 21st birthday. Dark magic, curses. Okay, I'm going to say curses count as dark magic. So, we're going to read The Half King. Again, I need to read this. I just don't really feel like it. Like, this was not what I wanted. This TBR is not what I wanted. And then we have the second fantasy, which is 4. So we are stuck in a mandatory prompt, which generally are more specific. Cursed castle on top of the hill. Book where they need to destroy an evil, corrupting force. Okay. That is oddly specific. I feel like this matches better. This matches that better because we're trying to break a curse. Ah, crap. Okay, so the Half King, actually, let's put the Half King with book where they need to destroy an evil, corrupting force. I think that does match better because she's going to like the castle and helping the prince. Okay. Crap, that means I still need a dark magic book. Oh, fun, guys. Who said prompts are fun? Book of Witching. We're gonna say that this is dark magic. This seems perfect. I'm excited about this. I forgot that this is what this book was about. Let's see. Daughter gets in an accident with her friends. Everyone basically is dead and people are missing. And she wakes up and claims she has someone named Nyx. And she believes it has something to do with where they were hiking, a woman wrongly accused of witchcraft and murder 4 centuries ago. She begins to wonder whether Aaron's strange behavior is a symptom of a broken mind or the effects of an ancient curse. This is dark magic. Okay. This suddenly looked up a little bit. This suddenly has me feeling a little bit better because I feel like I'm pretty certain about this prompt. So that leaves us with our books. Because we did roll romance twice, I'm going to throw this one in even though I don't have a prompt. But this will be like, oh, hey, there are 2 romances that I need to read this month. Because I was thinking about that. Even if I don't get a prompt, I should probably still read a book like from that genre. So we're going to say that this is our TBR for this month that I should 100% get through. I'm going to do a video in December going through all my TBRs from this year, like TBR games that I've played, and look through what books that I've read and do a video where I read some of them. Because I don't know how many books I've actually read that were on my original TBRs. But yeah, so we have The Art Thief, Love and Other Conspiracies, The Book of Witching, Half King, and Funny Story. I am definitely most excited about The Book of Witching after realizing what it's about. I am quite excited about it. And yeah, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna try to have a good time. I really hope this goes well. I really hope that I read all these books. We'll see. Again, I am trying something a bit different this month where I'm trying to read all the books, like my newer books, and then move on to my older ones, which it's not gonna happen. You know it's not gonna happen. So anyway, that was the TBR game. I feel like it was shorter than usual, which makes me happy. I did not want this to be super, super long. And I think we have like a pretty good stack of things here, so I'm excited, and I hope you guys are excited. Definitely let me know what you guys plan to read in November, what you think about my stack. No spoilers for the stuff that I've picked, but if you read any, definitely let me know what you thought about them. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future content. Make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it, and definitely make sure to comment down below, whatever, we can chat, etc. And I'll see you guys in the next video.